Hey everybody, welcome back to Electric Cafe. Today's video is on the sub-label Chain Reaction, which is a sub-label of Basic Channel. This is a super important dub techno label for the history of the genre, and really kind of for the early stages of the genre. Basic Channel had already set the tone, Mauricio set the tone in both house and techno as far as kind of leading the way. Certainly, Deep Chord was there in the early days. And then right around '95, so Basic Channel decided to do the offshoot labels. So they decided to start Main Street, and then they start to do uh, Chain Reaction, and Chain Reaction was just really important also for being the label that introduced Monolith to the world. Um, was probably a big side note for the label. The label probably mostly known for kind of being the extension of Basic Channel sound with everybody else that was kind of influenced by that Basic Channel sound. So once Basic Channel kind of made that sound, kind of created the visual part for it, the gray, the black, the white, kind of the um, monotone colors, the whole design of the label. Um, they then started Basic Channel, and that was kind of the opportunity for others around the world to kind of be involved in that sound, and it'd be interesting to see how they kind of introduced, how they got in charge of, or how they got in contact with different artists. Or did they just send out, hey, we're making this new sub label, send us music, or did they go out and contact these people to make releases? Because for 1995, these a lot of these producers were in different areas of the world, and for them to kind of come together for this label, um, just kind of set the precedence for dub techno labels going forward. Just the one I think one of the things about the label is there's like a starkness to the sound on the label. There's a warmth, certainly a warmth to the to dub techno, and there's certainly a coldness to dub techno. And back in Basic Channel days, there's something special about the material being analog, but it's sounding cold, and so it just seems like this balance of warmth and cold that kind of set the tone for a lot of the sounds that dub techno would be kind of imitated by other artists and other labels kind of going forward. So I just kind of wanted to go over show you some of the music that I have from the label. Um, Kind of starts out with was the second. So the gray ones were the European versions, and the black label ones were the American versions, or U.S. versions, they called it. This was Chain Reaction 2. So this was the second one on the label. Various artists. It's called 1 through 7. Or sorry, 1 through 7. There's 1 through 3, and then 4 through 7 on the other side. Um, this I forgot what the first one was, but this a lot of these early records really set the tone for the label. Unfortunately, the label kind of petered out around like 2002, and that's too bad because the label the sound is still giving, and people that really follow dub techno would be, I'm sure, still following this really important label. But I think they roughly did about 34 releases in those 5 or 6 years, 7 years, and just really impactful. Here's number 3 on the label. It's Porter Ricks, which was Thomas Koner and blanking on the other guy, Andy Helwig. Porta Transition and Porta Call. And again, this is the black version, so this is the US version. Most of these still haven't been necessarily been repressed. I will show you a couple of represses that have come out, ones that I've bought, but for the most part, all these records were still never reissued and really put on other records for the most part. I'd say at least 2/3. Um, Here's record number 4. So here's the first appearance of Monolake, Cyan 1 and Cyan 2. So off its Hong Kong record. Um, I was thankfully enough, I got turned on to Basic Channel and I'm sorry, I got turned on to Chain Reaction in 2002 when my friend in Germany, Danny Kreutzfield, shout out to you, Danny, for sending me some CDRs of pretty much all the CDs uh, um, of of the label. You know, he sent me Flux and One. I mean, he sent me Vibrant Formers 1 and 2. He sent me all of Vladislav's Delays, Mutilla, and Entertain, and sent me all those. He sent me the Vancouver one, which I have right here. Ended up getting later. He sent me Hong Kong by Monolake. So I never really got around to getting those albums on CD. A, because a lot of them are super expensive. They come in these kind of unique tin, which weren't the great at holding the CDs. Unfortunately, even though they had a little spindle, a lot of the CDs came, kind of messed up. But they're still really cool to have. It's kind of raised Chain Reaction here, and then the label here. But yeah, really cool CD idea for the label. Um, I think they had about maybe 7 or 8. This is the only one that I have. From the label, the rest are all CDRs. Again, I think I've named them all. I think there's 2 Fluxin ones. There's 2. There's maybe 3 Fluxin ones. 3 Flash Out Delays. There's Hong Kong. There's Vancouver, and I might be missing one other one. But that's why I don't have Monolake. I didn't get the Monolake reissued. Just Hong Kong recently got reissued. But I do have a few of the singles. So here's Cyan 1 and 2. That's record number 4 on the label. Here's record number 7 on the label. There's still a few that I need to get. This is a Chain Reaction, Elevation, and Erosion. Oh, I don't have a cover for this one. Just the record's just sitting in there for some reason, which is unusual. And there's no sleeve inside. There's no paper sleeve inside this black sleeve. It's kind of odd that I did that. Yeah, here's the Vancouver Elevation CD that's inside that. I just put it in a sleeve because it doesn't hold it very much. It doesn't hold it very well. But yeah, it's also cool. Kind of looks like the cover of the records. Nice job in presentation. And that kind of set the mold for a lot of dub techno labels going forward. The black and white and the especially the gray. Here's record number, I think it's 5 maybe. Substance, Relish. Very cool. Man, these records are so good. It's hard to even really explain a lot of them to you, like musically. But I just thought I'd show the label, show some of the records. This is Monolake's Magenta 1 and 2. Again, these come off of Hong Kong album. And you have Back to Puerto Rick's Nautical Nuba and Port of Nuba. I couldn't find it, but I do have Puerto Rick's, the full album that they put out. Not the original. I have the first reissue on Type Records. They did reissue it again a couple years later, a couple years ago. This is Pelon, P-L-O-N, number 10. It's called No Stunts. This is number 16, Erosion, 1, 2, and 3. And then you have number 17, Continuous Mode, Direct Mode 1 and 2 on each side. And you have number 22, Hallucinator, People, Dusk, and Hallucinator to the tracks. And you have Hallucinator, Frontier. This is number 33, Kilimanjaro, and Frontier. Then you have a few of the reissues here. Here's Helix Scan Index, which is originally was on Chain Reaction, and this is the reissue on. Monolith put it on Imbalance Record, his own label, in 2008. Another really strong reissue, Sonochi's and Toby's Shipscope. Obviously, amazing record, one of the best on the labels. If you know, you know. This is the reissue. I ended up getting 4 copies of the reissue. That's how much I love this record. I sold one recently, but I still have 3. I'm doing a Shinichi and Toby record today, video as well. So look for that. I'll show that on there, as well as some of his other stuff. More Fluxum. Here's Prospect, later reissued on Subwax. Shout out to Mr. Baldo. Shout out to Jimmy from the crew at Subwax. Great guys. Here's Vibrant Forms reissue. This is actually also on Type Records. So it looks like, I didn't know this was on Type Records. I thought this was Subwax, but looks like they also reissued this one as well as Puerto Rick's. This one says 2013, so yeah. I think the Puerto Rick's was 2009 or 2010 or something like that. So they did that. Also, here's Subwax also did this, originally released on Chain Reaction. This is Bipolar Effect. This is a double record. I think this came out in maybe 2014 or 17 or something like that, somewhere in there, that period. So Fluxum, Bipolar Effect, originally released on Chain Reaction in the year 2000. Also related, I still haven't opened yet because I do have these all tracks on CD, but this is the Vancouver Reductions 1995 to 1997. I think this came out, 2017. I think it's a three record. Yeah, 3 records. I still haven't opened it. It's still sealed. Yeah, really strong original. Most of them come off there. I think Solanus originals here. Anti-statics there, 1, 2. So Elevation. So maybe it just adds the okay, it has Anti-Static 1 on here, which is original to this. The rest of them were released on the Fluxum records, and a couple on the CD there. So I do have most of these elsewhere, just don't have Anti-Static 1 from here, but really good collection. Very worthwhile to have all these on one record, or one package. I think that's it for my Chain Reaction stuff. Yeah. I still have probably, the other, what do I have? Probably 12 or 15, so I still have another 15 or 17 to go to complete the label. I'm not super aggro to start to finish the label. Probably all those were purchased between 2003 and 2017 or so, probably. Except for I think the Shinichi and Toby reissue came in like 2017 or something like that. So yeah, all of them were purchased before then, so I haven't really I don't think they've really reissued really anything since or put anything else on the other album. I'm not super aggro to get a lot of the releases because I have the CDRs with the albums, and then also some of the prices are a little high for the records. And to be honest with you, I mean, most of these are in. I think all of them. Probably all of them are 33 RPMs. Not that I don't buy 33 RPMs, but it'd be great to have some of these on 45s and just one song on one side. Some of these are 33 and they're long songs, and it's middle 90s, and they aren't necessarily repressed or pressed all that fantastic. I don't think they're very of the 90s. I think some of these could use a reissue probably and a nicer pressing, maybe on 45 on just one side of the record. I think would do this more justice, and then I would probably buy those. To buy some of these reissues at 33, I mean, to buy some of the original records, roughly 30 years old, and most of them are overseas. I check fairly often, and it's very rare you see anybody in America who knew about Chain Reaction and is selling their Chain Reaction records. But a lot of them can go for 40 to 60, $70, for a really good condition one, and that's a little bit high for me to spend on just trying to fill out the collection of what I have. But these are ones I've got for the over the years, for probably $20, $30 at the most, and maybe even less for some of them. But that I found and got lucky and found them in bins. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's just a fantastic label. Again, I think it's like the quintessential dub techno sound after Basic Channel. It's like the label is kind of the sound that represents the label that represents the sound the most. But I'm curious, what are your favorite three records from the label? Mine are probably Shinichi and Toby's for sure. Bipolar Effect by Fluxin, and I feel like I want to throw a Monolake in there. Although I really like the various 1 through 7 and the Erosions 1 for 2, and then Vancure is really good too. But I feel like I gotta throw a Monolake in there, so I'll put Hong Kong in there as third, my third favorite. But curious, what are your favorite three Chain Reaction records? But thanks again for watching this video on Chain Reaction. I appreciate it, and have a good day.